Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm King POSH and today I'm showing you guys my 1991 Toyota Chaser GT Twin Turbo. Here's my share code. It's already up there because a lot of you guys are like, oh hey, where's the share code? What's the share code, etc, etc. So here it is. It's already up there. You got it? Great. Awesome. This is for my King rear-wheel drive drifter. It's got 1,209 horsepower out of the 1JZ GTE engine. Alright, so it's got the stock engine in there, and I'm going to show you guys everything about this thing. I'm going to show you guys the build. I'm going to show you guys the tune. I'm going to show you guys just the strange bits about this car that I found out. But hey, we are using the stock engine in here, so we are able to open up the hood, check everything out. When you do engine swaps, you can't do that. Sometimes it's locked, sometimes it's not. But here, we can get in there and see the engine. It's absolutely beautiful. And just think, there is 1,209 horsepower pushing out of this engine. And there's a secret to that as well. And I'm going to show you that, guys, today. You're going to see how I got all that power. Alright? You're like, oh, you just put some engine upgrades on there. I did. But there's still secrets. Another thing I thought was interesting was this wide body kit here. Now, as the air goes around the car, it hits this thing right here. This one right here. Alright? The air goes in there. Alright? And then usually you would think the air would just go right out the back there and it would just streamline all the way through. Well, that's not the case. You open up this and it is solid. The air goes through and stops. I could see that being a little issue. It does not go through. There is no holes for it to go through out the back. Alright? Alright, so it's just there for show. You know, I don't know how that would really help with, like, I mean, it looks good, but air-wise, I would think that would cause some massive drag. That's one problem with this car. The major problem with this car is, let's get in here. Can you see it already? This thing. An automatic transmission. You think they could have gave us a manual transmission for this vehicle? But no, they decided we're going to give you an automatic transmission for the car. It is sad. I think they should have 3 pedals in here, a manual transmission. It would look so much nicer. Alright. Other than that, you got a cassette player, not even a CD player. I know it's 1991. All right, that's far pushing it. I get it. That was far pushing it. But either way, still, you know, you got this place for air to go in, but nowhere for it to go. I haven't even looked inside of here. Oh, it looks like you got a place for a spare, and that's about it. You know, they could have put some subwoofers in there. Anyways, moving on. So, let's get into it, show you guys everything that I've done to this thing. Alright, like I said, it's got the stock powertrain in there, giving you that 1,209 horsepower. Alright, it's got a stock drivetrain, rear-wheel drive. It's actually got the single turbo, and I'll go over that in a little bit. Once we go through the whole thing, I'll go over that. Alright, so that gives me that 1,209 horsepower. Now, I can just go over it right now. That single turbo is where your 1,209 horsepower is. The stock has a twin turbo. You're like, alright, cool, 2 turbos. Right? I should be able to have more power with the twin turbo. Well, if I go down here and I put this on, look, it's not 1,209 horsepower. It's only 1,141. Alright, even if you look at all of this other stuff, all that just gives you 1141. So if you want the max, and you stay in the A800, you wouldn't know. But if you go into here and just go with the single turbo, alright, single turbo, go into here, boom, 1,209 horsepower. Alright. So the single turbo, is the way to go. Alright, the single turbo gives you all that maximum power. You get 141 1,141 horsepower with this one, with 2 turbos, but you get more power with a single turbo. So that's the secret right there. Of course, we got the wide body kit there. You know, this is what it looks like regularly. As you can tell, it takes you down. And that's all about weight reduction and everything else. Either way, more to get into that later. Not really worried about it. You shouldn't be worried about it either. I did think about taking off the rear spoiler on there. It would keep it in the A800 range, save, you know, some poundage. All right, it's not much, 4 pounds. But I decided, oh, you guys would complain that, you know, it should have the rear spoiler or wing on there. And I said, all right, I'll just leave it on there. There is still downforce on this vehicle. I took it all the way down to 0. La da 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 da. Moving on. All right, we have a drift tire compound on here. You can go with like a street tire compound or a stock tire compound, keep you down the A range as well. Here, these all take you up to an S1. I've decided I'll just go with a drift tire compound for you guys. And it had it at A800. Now we've got stock width in the front and stock width in the rear. So you know this thing can slide, but it's a lot of fun. All right. My favorite rims in the world on here is the Wet Sport TC105Ns. They look great on every single vehicle I put it on, so that's what I went with. Alright. Now, I was thinking about giving this thing some massive rims, but as you can tell, I can't even do that because it would take me up to an S1 801. Can't do that. So we have 16s in the front there. Now this one, oh no, look at that. I can't even touch it regardless. I thought I could. No, it would mess with me regardless. So 16s for both the front and the rear. I wanted to make an A-class car with 1,209 horsepower. Let me go. Alright, now we have a sport clutch on here. If I went with a race clutch, it would take me up to an S1 801. Alright? And instead of going with a 10-speed, I didn't think about it. It does stay in the A800 range, but I have a spring setting that I didn't want to change. And by going with the 10-speed, it changed the number, and I found it iconic that the name, well, the numbers were. So I decided to stick with the 7-speed transmission for this vehicle, and I will go over that later. Race driveline and a drift differential. Alright, we do have race brakes on here, drift springs and dampeners, race anti-roll bars for the front and rear. No roll cage, but this is what it would look like. Awesome. Alright, but no roll cage. But it does have race weight reduction, so we are saving over 600 pounds on this vehicle and still staying in the A-class range with 1,209 horsepower. It's an absolute beast. Alright? But like I said, I have everything on here. Alright? And like I said, if you go with the twin turbo, you're only going to have 1,141 horsepower. But if you go with the single turbo, 1 turbo instead of 2, you're going to be pushing the 1,209 horsepower. Is there flames for this thing? Not very much. It is what it is. And we got a race intercooler, race oil and cooling, and we have a race flywheel. So everything there is race, and it all gives you that 1,209 horsepower. Alright, so there is the build. Car Mastery, I haven't even seen yet. Looks like they definitely want you to go sideways with this car. So that is kind of nice. Alright, now let's look at the tune. Before I do, let me just show you guys. I do have 2 tunes for this car. As you can tell, I have the King rear-wheel drive drift. There it is. Got a top speed of 225.3 miles per hour. Then I have the KPG rear-wheel all-wheel drive drift. It has a different engine. It has the 994 horsepower all-wheel drive, and I will go over that later. And that one's got the that other engine. The what other engine is that? The it's got that one. The Racing 3.0 liter inline 6. So that's in the all-wheel drive car. Look at that. It's a S1 801 right there, and it doesn't even have the power that I'm pushing regardless. Moving on. Anyways, doesn't matter. I just wanted to cover that. I don't know why. So, here we are to the tune. Alright, we got 55 and 55 to maximize that slide. Alright, here is the gearing that I've come up with. I've gone through so many gearings with this car. I have been tinkering with this thing all day. I mean, here it is, 11 o'clock at night. I've been working on this thing since 10 o'clock at night. Just working on gearing alone, just getting it as good as I can. Alright, alignment, it is a little on the different side. Alright, usually I'm at like a 4 point, or like a 3.8, 4.2, somewhere around there. This one's a 3.3. Alright, it's a little different. It's what it is. But hey, it's got a nice top speed, and we're going to go with that. Anti-roll bars, I decided to take this 3250. So what I did was, this is what I did. I'll take it to you. I took the maximum number, and I divided it by 2. And it came up to 3250. So I said, okay, I'll just do 3250 on both of them. I know, pretty simple. Springs. Here we are at that number right there. The 276 is an iconic number for these Japanese cars. The 276 horsepower engine is what all of them were pushing. So when I saw the 276.0, I was like, I gotta keep that number. I gotta keep that number because that symbolizes a whole bunch of Japanese cars like the Skylines and so on and so forth that all said that they had a 276 horsepower engine. Quotation marks. Sure it does. Of course it has a whole lot more power than that. But, under, their restrictions, under certain rules and laws, 276 horsepower was what every single car magically had. Either way, I just had to throw that out there. I went with 366.0 on here is because if I mess with this number anymore, my top speed would go down to like 225.2. And so if I go any softer, it'll go to 225.2. If I go any higher, it should stay right there at 225.3. So the whole reason I just came up with that number. Alright, and it works. Alright, lowest you can go is 7.2, which is off the ground. Alright, dampening, this is rear-wheel drive car, so 2020, 1 and 1. Okay, like I said, there is downforce on the front, which is kind of funny if you look at that. That 141 is kind of like the horsepower of the twin turbo minus the 1, because it was 1,141 horsepower, wasn't it? Crazy how I just thought of that. Either way, nuts. Moving on. Braking is 50, 100, nothing changed there. Alright, and then differential's a little change too. If I mess with this acceleration, if I take it all the way down to 21 like I wanted it, and I'll show you guys, if I take it down to 21, my top speed fails. Alright, so I thought, oh, I'll take it to 31. Top speed fails. Alright, I said, alright, I'll take it up to 41. Top speed fails. Then I came up to 51, and there's a top speed again. That's the whole reason behind why I did 51% acceleration and just left it at 100% deceleration. It's the wildness of tuning that I enjoy the most. Alright, so that's what I did. So there you guys go. You got my build, you got my tune, you got my my thoughts about the vehicle. Yeah, absolutely crazy. Let's take her outside. I think it's still dark out there. It is what it is. Oh, no, it's not. It is light out. So nice. And there's another car here. Not sure. I think it's an Aston Martin. It looks like an Aston Martin. Alright. Pretty smooth car. It is a sad that when you do shift gears, as you can tell, there's no hand motion to shifting because it's an automatic. So there's that. How many miles are on this thing? Or actually, it's kilometers. It's got 111,243 kilometers. All right. Anyways, yeah, it's pretty fun. Got plenty of power. Now I'm just using regular manual here. You might benefit from like a manual clutch with this thing too. You do have a lot of turbo in this thing. Look at this. 52.9 pounds of boost. Alright? So, there's that. That's a lot of boost. Like I said, it's got a 7-speed transmission that you can play with. Alright? I thought about putting 10-speed in there, but I didn't just because of the... Oh, gosh. I have not hit that yet in this game. I guess there's a first for everything. But, where was I going with? I was hitting that wall. Oh, yeah, the 10-speed. I still was able to pull a 38 from there without even having a run-up on it. I would have missed out on that 276 pounds for the springs that would also, you know, went with the horsepower of the stock engine. The supposedly, you know, thing. There's a 39.3 right there. That's not too bad. Once that boost kicks in, you know, it is what it is. You know, you are going to have some turbo lag with an anti-lag turbo system. I don't even know where to go from there. You're going to have lag with an anti-lag turbo system. Anyways, I can't wrap my head around that. I can't. But this isn't that bad of a car. It's a lot of fun. It's got lots of power. I'm not having really any issues except, you know, hitting that little tire barrier that I thought was just going to explode, but apparently it was filled with concrete and it did not move. Can we do any better? Can we even get a 40 with this thing? I'm not sure. I'd like to know. Hey, there's a 41.5. I will take it. I will take it. A little bashed up, but it is what it is. I'm not restarting the video just because of that. You know? But, yeah. It's awesome. It works. It gets the job done. Alright, and then there's 7th gear right there. Alright? It all works out. Super smooth, though. Super smooth. Oh, yeah. Can I start in 7th gear? Let's do what we want to do here. Oh, yeah. Almost. I don't know. I'm just trying stuff. 5th gear? Can we start out in 5th gear? Yes, we can. We can start out in 5th gear. Nice. And then there's 6. Crazy. Gonna start out in 7th gear. A little bit. But 5th gear really pulled it through. Either way. Awesome. Oh, hey. Let them know. I'm famous around here. As they should know. Either way. Well, hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely hit that like button. And I will catch you guys next time. Stay sideways, my friends.